Hello.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning.
So, yesterday we were discussing about the classical report program. And in classical report, we are discussing about the events. So, we discussed about top of the page, initialization, at selection screen on, at selection screen on, start of selection, end of selection, end of page. Top of the page, end of the page. So, this is a very, very important interview point of view question. What are the events in classical report? And you have to name all these 6 events and also their purpose. This is a definitely asked question in the interviews. So, top of the page. Header details are taken care in this top of the page event. So, header details are taken care in the top of the page event. And then, oh, sorry. So top of the page. So basically, header details are taken care in header details are taken care in top of the page. So initialization,
Default value.
to display default values in the selection screen. To display default values in the selection screen. At selection screen on, to validate the inputs in the selection screen. To validate the inputs in the selection screen. Start of selection. Start of selection. Data fetch is performed in the start of selection. And one more important point, this is also a very, very important certification question also. What is the mandatory event in any report, in classical report? So start of selection is the mandatory event in the classical report, and all the others are optional. Only if they ask, then only we will use all the other events. But start of selection is we definitely use the start of selection event, right? And then end of selection. Data fetch is completed. Data fetch is completed in this event. End of page. Footer details. Footer details are taken care in the end of page, right? So all of these are the events, and you have to remember the event names and also the purpose of each and every event. And this is also a very, very important interview point of view question. So yesterday we were discussing about our classical report. So we have given no standard page heading. That means we don't want to have that standard page heading. And line count is the keyword. And also one more thing is like, if we are not particular, if we are not sure about how to use that particular keyword, what we can do, like suppose select options. We are not sure how to use this keyword, or we forgot the syntax, right? So in that case, what we can do, we can place the cursor on that keyword, and there is a help button, F1. So if you select that help button, it will show the documentation for that particular keyword. It will show all the documentation about that particular keyword, right? So it will open a window, and with examples, it will give you the sample code also. How to use that particular keyword, it will show with sample code. And what are all the different ways you can use that particular keyword. All the documentation will be provided here in this F1 help, right? So it will open up the document. So we don't really have to remember the syntax for each, and we just have to know like what is the purpose of that particular keyword. And here we can also find the help documentation. So it is still trying to open. So let us continue in the meantime. So first we are declaring our line type. So types begin of TYPOS and end of TYPOS. And here if you observe, the first four fields we are taking from EKKO table. And here we are using the two standard tables. We are using two different standard tables, EKKO and EKPO, right? EKKO and EKPO. So these are the purchase orders, header details, and item details. And we are using these two standard tables in this program. So the first four fields we have taken from EKKO, and the next four fields we are taking from EKPO, and begin of TYPOS and end of TYPOS. So we are also declaring another field called work area with the keyword data. Data work area, it is of type TYPOS, and our internal table, it is type table of TYPOS, right? And we are also declaring other fields like vBookers, it is of type bookers, vEKORG, it is of type EKORG. So like this, it will open the documentation help, and here you can see what are all the different ways this particular keyword can be used, and you can also find some sample code, right? So you can see here, you can read this document and you can figure out. So here, if you observe, it will provide all the different ways this particular select options, right? Select options for, select options, screen options, select options, value options, or like that. It will give all the possible ways a particular keyword can be used, right? So this is how you can go to the help document by selecting this, place the cursor on the keyword and go for this help button, right? So here we are defining our selection screen. So selection screen is the keyword, begin of block is the keyword. You can give any name for your block. With frame is the keyword. And if you want to give some custom heading, you can give title, text, and whatever the heading your details you give here, it will be displayed here, right? So sometimes they will ask for these custom headings as well. And if they ask, then we can give this. And whenever we want the users to enter the range of values, we use the option select options, and we are having this field called SBookers for vBookers. This is the company code. So here we are asking the users to enter the range of company codes and also the range of purchasing organizations, and selection screen end of block B1. So this is our selection screen. So selection screen is nothing but the screen where the users will give the inputs, right? So our first event is top of the page. So this is our event, top of the page. And these are also the standard events created by SAP. That's why they are being displayed in blue color. So with the help of the right statement, we are giving our headings here. So here we are also giving some column positions. That means at column number 5, from position 5, we want to print the company code. At number 17, we want to print the vendor. At 28, we want to print purchasing organization, 40 document number, 52 item number, 60 material number, 90 price. And we are also giving the U line. U line is for underline, right? So basically, whatever the header details you want to have, you can give them here. And then here we are having the next event called initialization. So in the event initialization, we can display the default values in the selection screen. So we are assigning some default values to our field. S Booker's low is 1000, right? S Booker's high is 5000. S Booker's sign is I for in between. And S Booker's option is BT. BT is in between. And we are appending all these values to our field called S Bookers. So this is also an optional event, and only if they ask to display the default values, then only we will use this event. Otherwise, we won't use this. Otherwise, line number 53 to 58, we don't have to write this code, right? The next event is at selection screen on. So at selection screen on, S_score bookers. So we are trying to perform validations on this field called as bookers. So we are selecting the bookers. We are selecting the company code into this field called V bookers from master table T01. So whenever we have to do validations, they will also tell us like from which table we have to validate, right? So for company codes, it is T01 master table. For purchasing orders, it is EKKO master table, right? So we are trying to see whether the given range of company codes are available in this table or not. So if it is available in this table T01, then it is considered to be a valid company code, right? So where bookers in S_score bookers. So whatever the range of company code that we give in the selection screen, that range, suppose if we say the range is from 1000 to 7000. 1000 to 7000, if we give the range, it doesn't mean that we are having 6000 valid company codes. It doesn't mean that. We may have only 2 or 3 valid company codes in between that range. And how do we know that they are valid company codes? Those company codes have to be available in the master table T01. Then only they are considered to be valid company codes, right? So we are closing our select with end select. And we are also checking our system field size sub RC. If size sub RC is not equal to 0, that means we want to give invalid company code, right? And we are closing our if with and if. So similarly, we are also trying to do the validations on our S_score EK, right? So we are also doing validations on this field called S_score EKORG, right? Purchasing organizations. So we are select EKORG into this field called VEKORG from EKKO master table, where EKORG in S_score EKORG, right? And we are closing our select with end select. So if size sub RC not equal to 0, and we are giving this message, invalid purchasing organization, right? So this is how we will do validations. And again, this also, if they ask us to do the validations, then only we will do the validations, right? Otherwise, we will, if they don't ask, then we won't use this event at all. So our next mandatory event is start of selection. So basically, here we are trying to join 2 different tables, and we are trying to fetch the data from 2 different tables in one time, right? So here I want to tell one thing. Do you both know the difference between join and an union?
Okay.
Join and union. What is the difference between a join and union? Suppose this is table 1. This is table A, and this is table B. In table A, we are having 1, 2, 3. In table,
ఇంతకుముందు చెప్పారు కదా సెట్స్ లో యూనియన్ ఎక్స్ట్రాక్షన్ అట్లాగో.
Yeah. So when we say join, what is the result? 2, 3. That means whatever is the common fields, they come under the join. And what about union? Union means 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the result of union. So join means there has to be some common field in both the tables. So only those fields comes under the join part, right? So here, similarly, we are trying to join the two different tables. We are trying to join two different tables, EKKO and EKPO, based on the common field. What is the common field? EBLN. EKKO EBELN equal to EKPO EBELN. That means based on that common field, we are trying to fetch the data from two different tables. So start of selection is our event name. So we are selecting, we are having a select statement. Here, if you observe, when we fetch data from single table, we don't have to mention this is the table name and this is the field, right? So here we are fetching data from two different tables. So first 4 fields we are fetching from EKKO, and next 4 fields we are fetching from EKPO. Because we are using two different tables, we have to mention the table name and field name, table name, field name, right? So we are fetching the data from two different tables into this internal table, ITPOS. This is our internal table. From EKKO, inner join EKPO. That means we want to join these two tables based on this is a common field. EKKO EBELN equal to EKPO EBELN. So this is the common field in both the tables. And we can also give some where conditions, where EKKO bookers should be available in nascent score bookers, and EKKO EKORG should also be available in the purchasing or purchasing order that are purchasing orders that are available, that are given in the selection screen. So if you observe, all of this is one single statement. Just to increase the readability purpose, we have divided this line into parts, but otherwise all of this is one single statement, and here at the end you will have a dot at the end, right? So we are trying to fetch the data from two different tables into this internal table, ITPOS, right? So any doubts in this select statement? So we are fetching the data from two different tables into this internal table. End of selection. So end of selection signifies that data fetch is completed. So this is our end of selection event. So in this event, if not our internal table is initial, ante enti? If not our internal table is empty, initial means empty. Mana internal table empty ga ledu ante enti? Ante some data is there in the internal table, right? The glass is not empty ante enti? Ante something is there in the glass, some water is there in the glass. Alage, if not our internal table is empty, initial ante empty and nothing is there. Initial ante starting means nothing is there. So if our internal table is empty, if it is not empty, then only we can use loop at internal table into work area, and we can write the work area contents. So ikkada chuste, again we are also giving some positions here. That means at column number 5 we want to write this field, work area field. At column number 17 we want to write vendor number. At column number 28, purchasing organization. 40, line number, right? EBLN, purchase order, line item, material number, and net price. At 90, net price. So immediately after writing the work area content, we are clearing our work area, right? And we are using the loop and end loop. That means internal table lo some 200 records unte, this loop and end loop will be executed 200 times. Each time it will be writing only one record from work area, and immediately after writing we are clearing the work area contents. Again, it will move the second record from internal table into work area. Again, it will write the second record. Again, we are clearing our work area. So మన internal table emptyగా ఉంటే ఏమైంది? Control will come to else condition and we will write this message. No records found for the given selection. And we are closing our if loop with and if. సో ఎప్పుడైనా మనము ఒక ఇంటర్నల్ టేబుల్ నుండి డేటాను రాయాలంటే వి ఆల్వేస్ ఫాలో దిస్ సేమ్ ప్రాసెస్. ఓన్లీ థింగ్ అడిషనల్ థింగ్ ఇవాళ కొత్తగా ఏం చూస్తున్నామంటే వీ కెన్ ఆల్సో రైట్ దెమ్ ఎట్ పర్టికులర్ పొజిషన్స్, కాలమ్ పొజిషన్స్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ 5, దిస్ ఇస్ 17, 28, like that we can write them at a particular position, right? So are we fine till this point?
Yes, ma'am.
So our next event is end of page. So here in this end of page, we want to, in this end of page, we want to write the footer details. So we want to write like, if you want to write something, we can write that at the end of the page. So this is the U line, underline, and write. Again, here also we are giving some column position. That means this, whatever this hard-coded text, we want to start printing that from column number position 30, right? So Texan Software Limited, some company name, some address details, and another U line. So that means in between these two U lines, this end of page will be populated, right? So all of these are the events we use in the classical report. And interview point of view, very, very important interview point of view question. What are the events in classical report and what is the purpose of each and every event? And they may not, they may also ask you only about one event, or sometimes they may ask you about all the events, right? So when we try to activate this program, so here we are trying to ask the user to give the range of company codes. We are trying to ask the user to give the range of company codes and also the range of purchasing organizations. And when we try to say, execute, so this is the company code, vendor number, purchasing organization, document number, item number, material number, and price. And one more thing I want to show you is like in the selection screen, sometimes the users, they may not understand, let me go back. Sometimes the users may not, may be confused, like S and score bookers, S and score EKYG. Only technical people can understand these names, right? So we can give some meaningful text. So let us see how to do that. So this is the path. Go to text elements and selection text. Go to text elements, selection text, right? So here you can give, enter the company codes. You can use some meaningful description here. Enter the purchasing, enter the purchase orders, right? So enter the company codes, enter the purchase orders. So let's try to save it and let us try to activate our program. So let's go back and execute the program. So see here, instead of S and score bookers, now it is showing enter the company codes, enter the purchasing orders. So like that, if we give some meaningful names here, text, so users will understand better, right? So, so all of these, so this is how we will develop the classical report. And I suggest to you, when you are trying to practice, you type them and practice. So that way, you know, you will get the hang of these programs, right? So in tomorrow's class, we will discuss the next report, that is the interactive report. So in tomorrow's class, we will discuss the interactive reports. So interactive reports, again, we'll come across new events. We will use some of these events and also some new events we will discuss in tomorrow's class. So tomorrow we'll discuss about the interactive reports. Yeah. Any doubts in this program? సో ఇంకా ఇంకా ఉండే కొందికి మనకి కొంచెం ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ పెద్దగా అవుతుంటాయి. బట్ ఓవరాల్ గా చూసుకుంటే కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అన్ని అంటే మనము ఆల్రెడీ డిస్కస్ చేసిన కాన్సెప్ట్సే అవే అవే రిపీట్ అవుతా ఉంటాయి. అండ్ ఆల్సో ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ డే విల్ బి గెట్ టు నో సమ్ న్యూ కీవర్డ్స్. సో ఇక్కడ ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో వి గెట్ టు నో సమ్ న్యూ ఈవెంట్స్, రైట్? సో ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ ఆర్ ద న్యూ ఈవెంట్స్. అండ్ ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో మనకు కొత్తగా కీవర్డ్స్ ఏంటి? నో స్టాండర్డ్ పేజ్ హెడింగ్, కౌంట్, and then select options. This is a new keyword for us, right? And then top of the page, initialization, right? All of these are new keywords. At selection screen on, and then start of selection, right? And then how to join two different tables and how to fetch the data from two different tables into one internal table. Again, this is a new concept for us, right? And then end of selection, and then top of the page, end of the page. So all of these are the new keywords in this program for us, right? Yeah. So any doubts? Practice చేస్తున్నారా మీరు? Both of you? Are you getting time to practice?
చేస్తాం.